juggernaut, man. And when I'm tuning in, I'm always tuning in to the Two Cups of Truth podcast. For real, no capping. Yeah. Hey, two cups. 2 cups of the truth podcast. 2 cups. 2 cups of the truth. Tune in. 2 cups. 2 cups of the truth. Radio. 2 cups. 2 cups of the truth. We going in. Shout out the big homie. They call him Magic. And shout out the 2 cups of truth family. Listen up. You got questions. We got the answers.
Yeah. Yes. Uh, I had something I really wanted to go over and discuss with you regarding people pain.
Okay.
Okay. People pain. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and we were talking about how we were moving in relation to business and how distractions kick up and separate people and miscommunications cause business to go astray. But that's when we're talking about business. But this person and I were developing a relationship and rapport so that we can do business, right? And what I found is that because of a distraction that kicked up, he moved away or it slowed him to move forward in business. So when we were talking about it, I expressed that I believe it's due to people pain that creates huge distractions when it comes to people coming together to do business. All right. So he
Right.
was like, people pain. No, I mean, people pain is people pain, but business is business. And he kind of separated the two. So I was like, well, if you were to look at it from a perspective of you can't do business without people. And if the people that are involved in the business have unresolved pain or issues that they've had experienced, they bring that people pain to the profession, which then pollutes the business. Does that make sense?
You think so?
I absolutely think so. I think so. And what I think doesn't mean it's a fact. That's why we're talking today.
Okay.
I think that if
First of all,
people don't,
first of all, let's just get off on what is the people pain like? What's people pain like? So for people who starting to tune in, or that they will tune in, what are you defining as people pain? Because like the song say, no pain, no gain. So where are we going with this one?
so with pain, there's gain. But let me describe what the people pain is. People live life. We're here on a life journey and we experience things as we go along. And they're usually things that happen with people: trespasses, violations, abandonment, corruption, hurt, a betrayal. These are things that I would consider people pain, right? You fall into areas where people do things and either you haven't forgiven or haven't tapped into just letting go and moving forward or finding the way to connect versus disconnect. Like we don't want to deal with pain, so we want to move away from it instead of engaging. Because, like you said, the song says, "No
No
pain, no
pain, no
gain."
gain.
So people want to move away from things that have hurt them, and when they do that, they don't allow for the healing process. So therefore, you create disruption and distance instead of engaging the pain, sorting through it, and coming out with solutions.
Which I can agree. Which I can agree with. But what kind of pain is
So
it?
when I say pain, for
Hold on a
instance,
second. Hey, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Yes,
Mr. Hunter, this is Donna at Mavis. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Listen, your cat should be here either next Friday or Saturday. It is ordered. It is on its way. It should be here. Like I said, delivery suspended either Friday or Saturday. We did have you down for that alignment today. Did you still want to do that today?
Nah, it was Sunday, but I want to just get it all at one time.
All right. Well, I'll just move it and I'll put it. I'll just move it to next Friday and then I'll let you know if that comes in. If it doesn't come in, we'll do it Saturday.
Okay.
All right, daughter. I got you. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. Happy birthday, Shay. Today, Shay birthday.
Oh,
For
happy
those
birthday,
who
Shay.
know, for those who know, Shay, it's her birthday. Happy birthday. Uh, Appreciate you checking in, young lady. But people pain.
People pain.
People
So
pain.
I have a close colleague that I work with, and a lot of times this colleague um creates almost like a self-sabotaging situation because she has people pain. So because she dealt with abandonment when she was a child and never healed that, she grew up with that in her mind. Now as a businesswoman, she's always conscious that somebody's going to abandon her or abandon, her thoughts, her vision, her decisions. And because of that, it shows up in the profession. You start doing self-sabotage and things like trying to interrupt that because you think somebody's going to hurt you. You're so busy with hurt on your mind that you're acting out in protection, but it's actually keeping you in. It's imprisoning you.
Right. So you believe like hurt people hurt people.
I don't believe it. I know it.
You know it. Hurt people hurt people. So
Hurt
you
people
saying
hurt.
people pain. And just to get me, just to recap before I get to saying anything, just to recap of what the people pain is.
Yeah.
This an internal problem.
It's an internal problem. People pain is you as a person, as you have moved along in life, people have hurt you. Whether it was people you loved, people you trusted, or as you grew in business, those types of hurt started to happen. Betrayal, violation, theft, those kind of things happen to you as a person. So as those things happen to you as a person, you start shaping yourself to protect yourself from that. But at the same time, you kind of imprison yourself because it creates a mindset.
Right.
That's my thought.
Right. So, and you were relating this internal pain, this people pain as it relates to business and it's saying and it's self-sabotaging
Hmm.
because so like I think I smell what you putting on the stove.
Okay.
So many times, like, we deal with all kind of crazy stuff every day. We deal with, like people can't move forward.
Hmm.
People stuck in the past, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, if you slam your hand in the door, you don't stop going through doors.
Right.
So just cause somebody hurt you or just cause so you got burnt in business. So let's just stick with business right now because I deal with it on a daily basis. In business, I'm dealing with people pain. I guess I would deal in business. So, you know what I'm saying? So people expect things to go bad. So they just start finding a way to make it go bad.
Hmm.
And I'm like, nah, I'm just trying to do good business with you, but you looking for something that ain't even there. You hadn't
Right.
even given it an opportunity to make its own way yet. You know what I mean? So even if it is gonna go bad, you know what I'm saying? At least let it go bad in its own way.
Right. Let it
So
play out.
so we so busy, like you said, we so busy trying to prepare. So I guess it's just a mental thing where people just set up where they just protecting themselves from the disappointment.
So let's go. I hear that. And it is a mental thing. It is very mental. You are doing your best to protect yourself from any other future pain. So you're acting for self-preservation, right?
Right.
But at the same time, when you put those walls up to protect yourself, you also lock yourself in. So you got to be conscious of how you're moving because we are conditioned to think we are separate from business. You're not separate from your business. You're bringing your whole person to that business. And if that person is experienced people pain that you haven't learned how to manage, process, cope with, then you're going to bring that hurt person into your profession.
Yeah. I don't want to be in prison with you. Like, so let's go back to them walls. They put them walls up. And
Yeah.
people do, they put them walls up and they be inside their own prison. Then what I see is people like they get upset when you don't want to be a part of the prison. Like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think we come with people pain. I think it's this term, where they bond, what they call it,
Trauma bonding.
trauma bonding.
Okay.
Trauma bonding. So you know what I'm saying. So a lot of time people don't even want to do business with people if they can't trauma bond with you. If we can't sit back and say, "Oh boy, oh girl, like I've been through this or this, that, and the third," and if you can't relate, they like, "Oh well, they don't know." You know, nah, I really don't want to relate. I really don't want a trauma bond. Like I really want to just build a successful business or whatever it is that we're doing. I just want to be successful at that. I don't feel the need to trauma bond, and that's what I mean by I don't feel a need to have to get in your prison with you.
I agree. Who wants to be in prison, period? The issue is the person experiencing the people pain, they very rarely realize they're in prison.
Right.
They think they're protecting themselves. They don't see the prison. They don't see the inside of it. They see, well, I'm just keeping the barriers up. Right? I just
Right.
want to make sure I'm defending myself. I'm keeping myself from being offended against. But don't realize that that trauma that caused them to build those walls has not healed. And that trauma translates into toxic relationships.
Uh-oh. Here we
Uh-huh.
go. Here we go again.
I
Here we
told you,
go.
got to get ready. We get ready to
See,
take a
here we
ride.
see, here we go. So whether it's business, personal, or anything indifferent, you know what I'm saying? Toxic is toxic. You know what I'm saying? Toxic is toxic. So
Yeah.
once you and most people build relationships off trauma bonding.
Well, that's
Especially in the things that we do in our community, we are a trauma bonding community. And that's what we do. And I remember a time back in the day, you know, I had to reach in and save you from you know your soulmate. I ain't gonna say the name, but your soulmate. You know what I'm
uh-huh.
saying? Like and this woman was so attached to you. I just thought because you know what I'm saying the trauma like to relate. I think it's more relevant in women than it is in men.
Well, this is the thing that happens in my mind. We have a tendency to break things apart. We have a tendency to say what's business versus personal. What's male versus female. The whole, from my viewpoint, I look at it as don't break it down, don't divide, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. So that people pain is happening on your human side, on that spiritual side, on that trauma bonding that you're talking about. See, that's a relationship. And we're not feeling love, we're feeling the traumas that we've been through, and that's what we're bonding over. So now we create this relationship over trauma because we feel like we're helping and healing each other, and that's not it. We're just stirring up in the trauma because we never healed that.
Right, we just stirring up most of the stuff.
You
So
absolutely.
so the idle mind is a devil workshop. You
Mm,
know, so that's what I was told. I don't know how true that is, but that's
I
what I
can
was told.
believe you.
The idle mind is a devil workshop. So
Hmm.
when all you sit and think about is what happened to you, and you're not being productive, you're not ambitious, you're not doing anything, you're not educating, constantly educating yourself. Like I'm a fan of education. You know, I'm Mr. Education Matters. You know how that go. But I'm a fan of education. And you're not constantly educating yourself. You're not constantly pushing yourself to the limit. You know what I'm saying? You have time to just focus on trauma. You have time.
Um,
You know what I'm saying? You don't have you don't have new goals, new ambition. All you is concerned about is protecting yourself from hurt that happened to you last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it depends on but if that's all you focus on, you just constantly looking backwards.
so
And that's it.
I love that you said we're focusing on um that trauma, looking at the trauma. Now let me ask you, if you God forbid cut your leg wide open and came in the house and I came in with you and all I did, you was like, help me. And all I could do is look at it and just look at it. Would that be helping you?
No.
Would that help? What would I need to do to help you?
Well, first of all, you call a paramedic if you're not equipped.
I'm not equipped, but the bleeding is happening now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
call the paramedic. I'm
yeah.
gonna
You
call
need to.
for help.
You need to. You need to. You need to. You need to get very resourceful, very quickly.
Get the help. Get the resources needed to address this problem.
Right.
Right? Right? Call for that help if you ain't got it yourself, right?
Right.
But we don't do that. We go into that very mind of ours and we start pulling up these protections to think that we're going to heal ourselves, right?
Yeah, we
I'm
be
going to
like,
go
well, I
run
remember
and
when
get
my
what I
uncle
know
Bobby
to do.
got shot in the leg.
Say again?
They be talking about. I remember when my uncle Bobby got shot in the leg, and
Uh-huh.
this, that, and the third.
So you get when Uncle Bobby got shot in the leg until the professionals get there, you're going to do what you can do to heal it or to stop it or to help it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to be conscious of you don't have the right equipment. So I might go in there and hurt you more because I don't know better, right? I might hurt you more while I'm thinking I'm helping. And that's what happens in those relationships, those trauma bonding relationships. Neither one of you have healed, neither one of you know how to heal, but you're coming together. And then it's not so much as you're focusing on the trauma, it's that you have not healed that trauma. So therefore, it keeps getting triggered.
Right.
Things will happen as y'all are moving that'll trigger that trauma to come right on up.
Oh yeah. So speaking of triggers, like when you're triggered, who fault is that? Is it the person fault who triggered you, or is it your fault you got triggered? Like who should be accountable in a triggered situation?
The person triggered.
And
The
why should they
person
be
triggered.
accountable?
Huh?
And why should they be accountable? The person triggered.
Because I wouldn't be able to trigger something that wasn't already in you. If
Right.
you didn't have an issue that was already in you, nothing I would have done would have triggered anything. So there's an issue in you that I can't see, nor can I touch, but you can.
Right. So if
So
people
you're
walk around, it's a
responsible
walking
for yourself.
landmine. It's
You're
just landmine. They're walking landmines. Like you
it's
can't take a
only a
step.
walking
Boom.
landmine if you don't go back and heal the things that make you blow up. If you don't go back and pull the energy out of the things that make you blow up, then you will be a walking landmine.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's you have to deal with your stuff. God sent you here as man. As you age, you are supposed to learn how to manage the things that you need to manage that affect you.
Give me your top three things of how somebody can know that they are toxic. Not that the other person they dealing with are toxic, but what would you give to a person to say that, the top three things you would say for you to recognize that you are toxic?
One, lack of knowing yourself. That'll definitely create toxicity. Two, not knowing how to process your experiences. That'll make you toxic. And three, things that'll make you toxic. Not knowing yourself, not knowing how to manage your experiences. And number three, not giving yourself the grace to be able to go through the experiences of life. When you realize that not everything is going to be good, when you come to realize that this ain't rainbows and sunshine all the time, that you're going to have to deal with adversities, you're going to have to deal with trespasses, you're going to have to deal with forgiveness and forgiveness of yourself and others. You're going to have to deal with that. When you realize it's good, bad, ugly, and indifferent on this life journey, then you'll be a little better off. But if you walk through this life feeling like nothing should happen, why me? Why did this happen to me? Who are you? Why couldn't it happen to you? What you gonna do about it is the question.
I think forgiveness is the greatest power that man can ever have. One man or man, I think forgiveness is the greatest power, and having the ability to forgive yourself, having the awareness to understand forgiving others is gonna release, you into a new freedom.
How
Cause
so?
we sit with so much resentment. Like we sit with resentment. I think like one of my you know I think one of my things that one of my top three would be transferable resentment. Like people they transfer like the resentment from one situation to the next. It's
Mm-hmm.
transferable resentment. So in IA, it can be considered to be a trigger, but I think it's a transferable resentment. Like, okay, so anything that you resent this so much, you resent being someone being told what to do. But then have you ever made a thought that it may be you need to be told what to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, like what success have you have? Like what God like and a lot of time, it's not you being told what to do. It's just you're being guided in a way. And I think that the transfer of resentment, it causes people not to even want to work with you in business or have a personal relationship with you because I can't even push you to be your best because when I push you, you're resentful because of what happened to you before.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
That is a primary issue of people pain. That transferable resentment, the lack of forgiveness or understand. We use these words and they sound so great. Let me ask you a question. Who taught you how to properly forgive or let go of guilt because you did something? Like, who taught you how to relieve yourself from the energy, that negative feel that you get when you feel like somebody trespassed against you or you feel guilty yourself? How do you deal with that? How do you teach your children how to forgive?
Man,
Right.
it's
Ooh.
that's a hard thing.
Ooh. Ooh.
Being chimed in. She say forgiveness is difficult when you know you're guilty. So, and that's a lot, and that's a big one because you know it because that brings the deflection game.
So hold on a second. So she said forgiveness is difficult when you know you're guilty. Who's asking for forgiveness? Forgiveness of yourself is difficult. I'm taking it. Forgiveness of yourself is difficult when you know you're guilty for something. So if I know I'm guilty for stealing something from you, and I know I'm guilty of it, but I've grown, there's been some time, I've grown past it. Now I'm feeling guilty. I don't know how to forgive myself. Forgiveness is a process and it has to be understood. What is forgiveness? What is that?
Yeah, what is it? That's what
So
like
I
what
had a
is.
whole class. I had a whole 2-hour class for the masters. I run my master's training class, and it's teaching people how to be a master of that which they manage, right?
Right.
And forgiveness was our topic. And a lot of people didn't understand that forgiveness is that thing. Is exactly what it says. It's for giving away the energy, the negative energy that's attached to you based on an indiscretion, whether you
Right.
committed it or one was committed against you. It's relieving yourself of the negative energy that you feel when that trigger comes up about forgiveness. It's about restoring a bond, a healthy bond between you and either yourself or the other. Not that not that we have to stay connected in person. I'm just going to relieve myself. I don't even need the other person involved. But how do I let go of that within myself to not feel guilt? Because we all make errors, right? And we all go and ask for forgiveness. So, yes, those are skills. Miss Catherine has said, how do you work on those skills? How you work on those skills is one, back to what I said, you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself, and that even within yourself, you are capable of making errors.
Oh yeah.
You got to know within yourself that, no, that hurt. I'm not trying to forgive that right now. And know that you don't have to, that you need to be real when you say you forgive,
Right.
that it needs to be real in there. Go ahead.
Right. So time. So you saying time. You don't have to pretend like you forgave a person.
Right. You know how you know you didn't forgive a person? I can say you violated me, and you know what, Magic? I'm gonna forgive you. This is what I was showing on last week. I don't know if you can see this. Nah, you can't see it. It's an iceberg. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how people think. The top of that iceberg is the conscious, and the bottom is the subconscious. And when some things happen, whether you feel guilt or you feel pain, it goes in that subconscious area, that deep down,
That deep
down in
blue.
your soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to get that up out of there. So you got to learn the skills of how to go in there and manage that.
Right. And that's what someone asking. That what being asking. How do you manage those skills?
The first thing we got to do is slow down. This world is so fast, it doesn't give us a lot of time. It doesn't afford us a lot of time to focus on ourselves. But you're going to have to be deliberate about that, to take some time to focus on yourself. Then you got to understand how to apply these skills. You got to gain that knowledge, the knowledge of how does this mind work? Why can't I forgive? What is a trigger? How does that, what's happening on the inside of me that makes me want to slap fire out you because I really didn't forgive you?
Right.
How
Cause
do I
and
control that?
then your bloodline. Like
Mm,
you know, your bloodline, where you come from, what kind of stock you could come from. How do you deal? Like even when you go to a job,
mhm.
even when you go to a job, they hire you, they give you a handbook sometimes, and they gonna and within that they gonna and you're gonna deal with conflict resolution.
Mhm.
There has to be a chain of command or a order in which you deal with conflict. Most people don't have this in their life. They have no order in their life. No, how do you deal with the conflict? How do you deal with yourself when you disagree with someone? Have you already, you know what I'm saying? Cause some people just go by, I wish a nigga would mindset all day. And get
Yeah,
what? And it's gonna happen. Hey, when you wish a nigga would, a nigga is.
it's going to.
Eh,
It's
eh,
coming.
it's
Yeah,
coming.
absolutely. Well, this goes back to my importance. We are the gods of our own world here. You are the boss of your world, of who you are, of this body. And the best thing that you could do is learn this mind and how this mind functions. How does this work? How do, like you said, who am I attached to? Because when I was growing up, I didn't learn conflict resolution. I saw conflict happen in front of me, and then I saw violence usually on the other end of that. It wasn't a resolution though, right? Or if you see your parents argue, next thing you know, they dip off in a room and you don't see them no more. They come back, they happy, but you never saw what they did to resolve the problem. So if you
Yeah.
don't get this conditioning, you take it into the workplace. You don't know how to resolve. You just know how to go through it and experience it.
Right. Did you really don't yeah, you don't really know nothing. Then how can, like I said, I'm education matters. Like the question is, how do you work on those skill sets, right?
Mhm.
When you don't have true comprehension skills, when you don't have true comprehension skills, when you don't have critical thinking skills, that never was worked on.
Mhm.
As a young person, as a when these skills they never was worked on. They
Mhm.
never. Then as an adult, where are you gonna magically get this from?
You don't magically do nothing. You do exactly what you said. Go get educated about it. Go get what you didn't get. See, when you was younger, you didn't get it. It should have probably been given to you. You should have been guided on how to do this, how to attain these skills. If your parents didn't have it, they couldn't give it to you. Well, guess what? You over 18 now. Go get it. Go learn how to deal with your mind when you have negative self-talk kicking up more than you do having positive thoughts.
Oh no, they not going to get it. Why? Why they not going to get it? Because they've been
Because you
getting by
came here for
without
the
it.
purpose of mastery. We
Nah, they been
came here to dominate. We came here to be over everything that we touch. That's what we came here to do. And if you don't know how to manage your mind, manage your emotions, gain the skill that you need to put you on your road, if you don't have the wherewithal to do that, you're going to leave here without it.
these folks, they been getting by without it for so long.
You
They
no,
been
you just
getting
been When you say getting by, what that mean? That means just bumping through life. Do you want to drive your life or you just want to get by life?
Get
You
by.
want to be decided on where you're going, or do you just want to get by and drift through until you're out of here?
They want to get
So
by.
that's why, in the curriculum that I had written, who taught you? That's a serious series. Who taught you how to forgive? Who taught you how to self identify? Who taught you how to deal with your grief? Who taught you how to have a healthy relationship with yourself? And
Hey,
if nobody taught you, it's out there.
ain't
As a
nobody
matter of
teaching.
fact, I teach them classes. That's what I'm inviting you to.
All right, yeah. Invite the don't just invite me. Invite
Invite the
everybody.
world,
Yeah,
Craig.
yeah, yeah. Invite everybody. Like cause you asked that question, who taught you, but I always ask who raised you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
who raised you? You're a product of your environment, and if you were brought up in pain, you know what I'm saying? You talking about pain people, like we got pain. We got a pain community. We got a pain culture.
That's just how we are constructed. From our onset on the ground, that's how we as a culture have been constructed. But let's be clear, it's not just cultural. Um, our brain is designed to protect and project, right? It's designed to prepare, get us prepared for things, make these things happen, right? And when you are trying to prepare for something on one side of the fence, but your mind is telling you, no, we got to protect ourselves from that, then you get delayed. Then now you're in a mental conflict. Now you don't know which way to go. Well, I
Mm,
want to go up here, but well, it's scary. Now we start to getting delayed. So you got to learn how to work this thing to work this thing. You got to learn how to work this mind to work this body on how you show up.
right. So look, what's the class info? People want to know. They want to know the class info. Let's go ahead and let's drop the class info. So and
We
we might need to do that a couple of times, but drop the class info.
Yeah.
Where's the next class at? When is it?
Only because of the weather, we won't be having class on tomorrow, but we have class every Sunday night, 7 to 9 p.m. at JR Crickets in Riverdale. I'll have to get the address and I'll plug that into the chat. But this is called the Master Series. We teach about mastery. What do you master? What is the one thing you can say you're a master of that thing? That's your craft that you can monetize, right? And before we can get to that, we got to get to the master. You. How do you develop your mastery? How do you show up in this world just like that? So we have these classes right now. It's an 8-week series, and we're on week 5, but we're gonna run it again. Gonna run it right back to back.
Hey, that's what's up. Shout out to week 5. That's delayed because of the snow. Um, so but hurt. This
Hurt
pain.
people.
This we got, so we got then, and us as a people, well, we make pain music.
Mm-hmm.
We make pain music, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even in hip hop, it's a section of pain music.
Mm-hmm.
But Betty Wright and them, they talking about pain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so pain is in our culture.
But
Pain,
why do we
how
make the music? You know why we make the music?
not to get away from the pain, I don't think.
No, to get it out.
No, I
We
I
write,
disagree.
we write, and we can gonna chop that up. We're gonna chop up the challenge. I like that. But we write all the arts. Usually, all of our arts come from pain. From music to drawing to writing to acting, it's all being channeled through to get that out of your body. It's an expression of it. That's why Mary was able to blow up as good as she was, because she expressed her pain in music that related to many others that had that same level of type of pain,
Hey,
and we could
so
relate.
listen at this, Miss Hillman. We have the royal queen wanted to join in and speak on what her thoughts were about pain. So
Yeah,
let me bring her on this
let's do it.
screen for a second. Let's do it and let's see where this go. All right. Hey, appreciate you there. Hey, we got the Royal Queen, and and today is a special day because today is actually the Royal Queen birthday. So
Oh, happy birthday.
so happy birthday, young lady.
Thank you. I love
Uh
Danielle. I love you, Danielle.
Oh, thank you.
uh, so um so let's do what we so let's do what we do. So
I'm trying to
Miss the
I'm trying to
uh,
share this on my Facebook page, Magic.
hey, the Royal Queen well so what's your so let's just start from the so let's start from the beginning. What's your definition of people pain?
People pain to me, and this goes back deep. This goes back as far as childhood. We start experiencing pain from way back. So, people pain are those trespasses, those violations, those betrayals, those things that we have felt that we have not learned how to relieve ourselves from. And because of that, we create protections. And those protections, as we grow, end up coming out in our professions and in our relationships with people. And while we think we're protecting ourselves, we're actually keeping ourselves and creating distance from those we want to connect with. That's what people pain is.
All right, Royal Queen. So you got the definition. Well, what's your thoughts, young lady? She's still trying to connect on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.
I forget what you said. You had challenged me to something, and I said, "Yeah, let's talk about it."
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
we
said I
got
don't
thou.
agree with that. I forget what that was.
Yeah, we got it was just one of your last statements, but like, so we got feedback, young lady. I so but anyway, um but I like is there a health it was like is there a healthy way to get past our pain? Because I said I don't agree with the fact that we're just trying to get it out, like, you know what I'm saying? Yes,
Yes,
we're trying to get it out, but I just don't agree with the whole theory of that's what it's for. I think it's part of the culture that we just wallow in it, like, you know what I'm saying,
we
like we
haven't
don't.
been taught. So yes, we were talking. You challenged me about the music. You said with the music, you don't feel that that's people expressing their pain,
I
right?
do feel like if people expressing their pain,
Oh,
but you
that's what
said
I
is
was
it.
saying. So we
Yeah,
agreed.
you said that they get it out, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't agree with the whole logic of, we the only reason we do it is to get it out. Like we thrive on pain. Like we want to be like some we want to be in pain, but we want to be discomfort. We want to have an uphill battle. That's our that's why we like going to prison. That's why we
Mm,
like get
mm,
divorced. That's why we like going through all these different
we
challenges
want
because
that.
yeah, because we need something to overcome.
Okay. So let me just give you a different perspective. Very different. Because of what I do in my profession, I focus on adverse childhood experiences. I look at the root cause of things. When you have been violated or offended or hurt in childhood, it starts the rewiring of the brain. Literally, you can't see it, it's happening on the inside. But the science will tell you when a child between the ages of 0 and 17 have been met by certain life experiences that are spiritually and mentally and emotionally damaging, it shapes who they're going to be as an adult. It's not a permanent shaping, but it won't undo itself if you don't go and address it. We're not going to prison because we like it. We're not going in prison and hurting each other and shooting each other and creating chaos because we enjoy it. It's because we've been conditioned into it without the relief of understanding how to come out of it.
Well, you can't say one thing without saying the next. You saying, hey, now either, but why we do music? Because we enjoy it, right? And
We
we make this type of
That
pain
is a
music because we
relief.
enjoy it.
It is a relief. So just like you have tears, when you're feeling either overly happy or overly sad, you have a release. Your body will release this liquid out your eyes to get it out your system. All of this energy that's built up based on your emotion. So when we are in pain, that's why hurt people tend to hurt people, because that's what they've been conditioned to. But see,
Hey,
I know for a fact, healed people heal people. That's why we don't stay with just the hurt people side. You got to learn how to heal. If your child fall and hurt their knee and it busted open, and they come to you, you got to heal it. It's gonna hurt. When you touch it again, it's gonna hurt them again. But
now
it's
you
your
just getting
purpose
you
to
know
heal it,
you didn't heal them.
huh?
You didn't heal your child. See these are the false illusions that I want to
Oh,
kind of get
let's
rid
talk
of.
about the false
So you
illusion.
didn't heal your child. You done messed around. Your child messed, and they scraped their arm, and then you say, "Come here, mommy, kiss it, boo boo boo, mama kiss the boo boo, mommy make it all better." And you know what I'm saying. And psychologically, they believe your kiss on their little scar made it feel
Well,
better.
we talking about that right there ain't the healing. If my son falls and hurts himself and busts his knee open, I ain't gonna talk about, so come here, let me kiss it. I'm gonna tell him, come here, I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right. So let me get the medicine, let me get the ointment, let me get the rag, let me clean it. I'm gonna have to touch it. It's gonna hurt.
So it can heal, right?
It absolute and guess what? It's me just helping. He gonna heal himself. His own body is gonna heal itself. But he
Right.
doesn't know how to address the hurt. So I'm going to address the hurt so that he can begin the healing. You understand?
Right.
So we got growing up in the church, it made people feel an experience of pain and struggle was being godly. Well, it depends on what you're reading on. It depends on how you're perceiving the Bible, and see, where we speak from is not from biblical text directly. And we're dealing from just a human aspect, not biblical, not anything that we do in the world, but just being human beings. If somebody comes to you and hurts you, the next thing you're going to do is create something to protect yourself from that, whether it's an attitude, whether it's a weapon, whether it is a movement. You're going to create something to protect yourself so you don't feel that level of hurt anymore. But see, what's godly is that we came here to have a human experience, and we learn through both pleasure and pain. The thing is, how do you get out of the pain? How do
Right.
you let that be an experience, but that not be anchored to the pain and let it hold you up or delay you?
Right. So look, the Royal Queen, did you hear? Are you there? Can you hear? You
So, like,
there? I
in
don't
the
think she hears.
in the essence of where we're talking about, when we go to prison, why do we go to prison? At prison, that's way down the line. You have to realize that person that went to prison was probably affected when he was a child, he or she was a child, and it was beliefs and his or her survival techniques from a child that were off, that were wrong, that did not provide for that decision making, positive, productive decision making. So therefore, he carried people pain.
Can you give me a good reason to go to prison? I mean, because people say we don't want to go to prison. I said people, know what I'm saying? Like, but what's a good reason to go to prison?
What's a good reason to go to prison?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm going to say, for me, the first thing that come to my mind, what I wouldn't mind going to prison for is to protect mine, protect myself or protect mine. So that, in my mind, those are the reasons. But that could break down to a whole nother slew of things.
Right. It can break down. So, so my whole point I'm making is through pain, for pain, if we live for pain.
We It's a part of the experience. We don't
Right,
live
but
for it.
so why don't we live for pleasure? Like you had mentioned the word
We
pleasure.
do we live for the experience. I want you to take this
So
is
hold on, wait, hold on. So if we did, so hold on. So if we live for pleasure, so or we're not triggered for pleasure. We just triggered for pain. Why we're not triggered like, oh, why I don't expect when I talk to this person or go to this job or do whatever I do, it's gonna be wonderful. Why doesn't it, why do I always expect it for it to go the wrong way, or for it to be bad? Like, why are my triggers are only triggers of pain? Like, so if
So
we learn from pleasure, why did the pleasure, what is a pleasurable trigger?
a pleasurable trigger is wanting to whatever makes you happy. People, we talked about that before, the pursuit of happiness. Happiness comes from happenings. You can't go chasing happiness. You have to create things that happen that will make you happy. The reason why, where you talking about pain versus pleasure, we learn from it all. We are creatures of our environment. So as humans, we're going to learn from good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. You can learn from a fool just like you can learn from a professor.
You can learn a lot from a dummy.
That's
Buckle
what
your
I'm
safety
saying.
belt.
So we can get it either through the hard way or the easy way. We are creatures of our environment. We are God's image. We are able to do whatever, create whatever, right? So we can learn whatever. This brain gives us that capacity. What happens is we get hurt, our emotions catch up, we can't sort them out, and we don't know how to manage what we're dealing with. And that creates havoc in our lives, in our professions, in our schools, in the society.
Right.
So yeah, that balance is huge. Queen said balance is huge. Too much of anything, too less of anything hurts. So you got to have balance. You're going to have some good, you're going to have some bad. You got to learn how to manage yourself through that and not get anchored in either one, because they're coming and going. Those are emotions. Those are roller coasters. They're coming up and down. They're coming good and bad, up and down. You got to learn how to manage and maintain your balance through that.
Yeah. So just to reiterate what I was saying, like, 'cause someone said, they don't believe what I'm saying is true about prison, but I'm not just talking about prison itself. I'm just talking about the mentality of pain. I'm just talking about, like, like you listen to some of the new rappers or the old rappers, they talk about, what I'm saying, the time they spend in prison. We glorify pain. Pain is glorified. We glorify to Tupac. They shot me 5 times and they still couldn't stop me. We glorify the pain. We glorify, we
Is that the
glorify.
glorification of the pain or the glorification of the I'm unstoppable?
I think it's the pain, cause
Yeah, I'm not
that's the most.
glorifying the pain. When I hear Tupac say that, no matter what you try to have come against me, I'm still in motion. I'm still making it. Nothing that you bring, unless it takes me out of here, nothing you bring is going to stop my forward momentum, my mastery of who I am and what I do.
So, do you know a song about pleasure?
I can't pick up a song off the brain about pleasure, so to say.
Is there
Not
anybody out there that can just post a song about pleasure? What song? Like, what's uh um yeah, and I agree with Keith on that. Keith, you hurt my kids or whatever. Yeah, yeah, that's a good reason to go. That's a good reason to go to prison. Um, if you hurt
But
them.
see, I dealt with a lot. I spent a lot of time with inmates and prisoners. And in the time that I was in that space, I came to understand today is a good day. Yeah, that's a pleasurable song. Today is a good day.
Today was hey,
Um,
hey, but even in that song, he said, and today I didn't have to shoot my AK.
right. But that's just
So
his life experience. That doesn't mean he's glorifying it. That's his life experience. That's a reality of what he has to deal with. And obviously that's a negative thing, because that today's a good day. I didn't have to shoot the AK. So I don't want to deal with the pain. That's just my behaviors because pain exists. It's not a glorification of it.
so in our community, what's pleasurable to us is spending money. That's
Why
how
is that pleasurable?
I
Why is
don't
spending
know.
money? because it makes us feel like we have value. We mistake money and monetary stuff to being value. What you're really seeking is self-value.
Right.
You feel good because you bought that car. You feel good because you got that big house. You feel good because you got all the name brand. All of that could burn down tomorrow. What do you have? What's the value in you? What makes you valuable?
So that's where so now we get into it where I'm saying that the root of pain coming from being incomplete, feeling incomplete, not feeling this sense of somebodyness, not feeling, that you are him or that you are her. Like you need validation.
Now let's be clear. You kept using this word, not feeling like, not feeling like you're whole, not feeling like you've been validated. Let me explain something to the grown folks that are listening. Feelings are not facts. Because you feel a way don't mean that's a fact of matter. So because you don't feel whole don't mean you're not whole. And if you're not whole, go get whole. Go do your work. You don't got to sit in no feeling. Change it. Know that you have the power to manage yourself. Know that you have the power to go get whatever it is. If you don't know how to forgive, go find somebody that deals and focuses on forgiveness, because you got some in there that you got to work on. Just as much as you expect people to forgive you, you got to be able to extend that to people and to yourself. But that's just words I'm talking right now. This is a practice. You got to learn the skills to apply.
Right. So when you're born in resentment, you're born in pain. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Mothers go through a lot.
Yes.
And that's a whole nother conversation because I think that on the other end of that, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't get acknowledged or what, the other side really goes through. But because of coming through the canal birth, uh, the birth canal, um, coming through the birth canal, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you come through, like at that moment, that's what you know what I'm saying? So the mother has a lot of resentment. The mother has
Resentment
felt a
for
lot
what?
of pain. So, you know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
wait.
So
Resentment for the birth. Wait, tie that in for me. The birth canal and the resentment. Where you got?
I'm saying with whatever she resents, she could be resenting the fact that, you know what I'm saying, she might not have been ready to bring a baby into this world. She may not be on the best terms with the father. She may not be where she want to be in life. It's a lot of resentment. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a lot of uncertainty
Yeah.
versus and I guess you can do your research, but years ago when we were looking at it, when I was going through my counseling training and understanding, mothers that take on pregnancy that's confident, babies could come out a little bit healthier, little bit more. The immune system be a little bit stronger. They grasping on the things a lot faster versus when the mothers come through. You know what I'm saying? And and like I said, like it's a lot of resentment, a lot of hate. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
Can I
what is this baby gonna be?
let me share with you about this baby thing? So you already know in the business, in my business, our primary focus is ACEs. ACEs being that adverse childhood experience. That starts from 0 to 17. Zero means before you got here. Zero means in the womb. So while the mother was experiencing whatever she was experiencing, if she was unhappy, resentful, being beaten, using substances, whatever was going on with that mother, it transfers to that infant before they even get here. That infant's brain is being wired the whole time it's in there. So when it starts feeling these feelings of negativity, those the energy of that negativeness, they start preparing themselves to come to this world like that. They come here angry. They come here fearful. They come here doubting. And so
Right.
that started right before they haven't even learned their name yet. And they're in this energy and feeling and mindset because they've wired their brain to protect themselves from this thing they're coming out to that got their mama feeling like this,
Right.
right?
and therefore mother's influence is very strong. So a lot of kids raised up feeling like they daddy have hurt them. That they feel like they pain. Cause they feel like
And don't just dismiss the mama, because usually the mama has some type of connection with the daddy. So when daddy and mama are together and mama is feeling that resentment toward daddy and daddy is yelling and there's anger, that baby hearing that too. So they hear the anger, they hear the tone, they hear the vibration, they feel the vibration of the mother's anxiety kicking up. All of that is happening for that infant before it gets here. So when that infant comes here rebellious, resentful, angry, we looking at him like, what's his problem? Well, it started before he got here.
way before he got here.
Yeah.
Um,
And then when he gets here, it gets reinforced. When he gets here, the adults can't make their decisions. They're volatile. They're fighting. People shooting the AK in the neighborhood. All of this is still going on. And this primarily happens in our culture.
right. And then it's a badge of honor to say you not really from the hood. So you're not really from this pain. You're not really from this struggle. You're not really from this. Where's your street cred? We talking about the pain.
Let's look at the badge of honor. The badge of honor is not the pain. Pain shapes you. And just like Tupac, if you could live through people trying to take you out of here, if you could live through that, if you could live through the shootings in your neighborhood, the stabbings that go on in the schools, if you could live through that, then that's the badge of honor. I'm a warrior. That's where they're getting the mindset that there's a badge of honor. It's saying that I'm a warrior because I was able to be shaped and live through this. You ain't from this, you don't know nothing about how to live.
Right. You don't know nothing about this.
Right.
So
You ain't built like me
you
type of
not.
mindset.
You
Because
not.
I gotta walk this every day.
Getting it
Right.
out the mud. These are terms of pain.
And these are also terms of mindsets and attitudes. If I got an attitude that I gotta get it out the mud every day that I live, I gotta get it hard. My life is nothing but struggle, then that's how our prisons get filled up. It's not because we want to go. It's because nobody taught us how to get it a different way. Nobody taught us how to deal with that attitude or that hurt that came from inside.
So yeah, I think we want to like. I think I think we want to like problematic people.
We
People are
what?
problem. People are problematic. People would rather have a problem than have a solution. They'll rather have the problem. Like the problem is what they can relate to. That's all they ever saw.
Can I?
So you,
Go ahead.
so that's all they ever saw. So what else? Like and me and you, we know we deal with this on a daily basis. That that this the only way you know how to function.
So look, we get very confused because we get caught up in what we see. We got to understand who we are. Like I said, who are we? I asked this question. I start the class off with the question: are you a spiritual being having a human experience, or are you a human here having spiritual experiences? Which one are you? If you find that you are a spiritual being here having a human experience, if you agree with that, then you have to be able to see life from a physical human perspective and a spiritual one. But you got to learn how to do that. Don't get fooled by what you see with these eyes. You might see that there's conflict and there's no way out and there's no better way. You see that because that's what you've experienced thus far. But promise you, baby, you could learn something different. You can have something different if you tap into something different. So let me give you, can I take you through a quick exercise real quick? Real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Tell me what your eye is locked on right now that you could see.
My cash app.
Your Cash App. So now, when you see that Cash App, does it make you happy?
Nah.
It don't? Okay, so we got to put something in it to make you happy.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. So in between time, you could see your Cash App. Do you know what that is? That the fact that you could see the Cash App, you know what that is called?
My vision.
No, it's called your sight. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's called your sight. And because you can see it, that's a blessing. God blessed you today. When you woke up, you had sight. You could have lost it 30 minutes ago. So you got sight and you could see. And he gave you that blessing so that you can navigate this thing called earth. everything that's around you, how to protect yourself from things that might come up, how to project yourself into the world so you can prosper. All kind. He gave you that sight for that, right? Now close your eyes. If you close your eyes, what do you see?
If I close my eyes,
What you see?
I see the heavens.
You see the heavens. That's beautiful. While you were seeing the heavens, I'm going to give you something else to see and tell me if you can see it. I'm going to just say one word. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Car. Can you see a car? Did a car pop up?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you something else. Book. Did you see it?
Yes.
Did the book pop up? Okay.
Yes.
I want to take you somewhere now. I want to
My
take
book.
you, your book. Ooh, good stuff. I'm going to take you to yesterday. Can you see what you ate yesterday?
Yeah.
You can see it, right? Okay. So you can see your book and you can see what you ate yesterday. Now open your eyes. What is that called?
Sight.
No, sir. Your sight is when you can see through the physical world.
Now you, I mean, you
That's
told me.
called your vision.
You talking about when my eye was closed, what
When
I
your
can see.
eyes was closed, that's called vision.
Vision. When your eyes are
That's a
open, it's
gift.
called sight.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sight.
you done taught these people something today.
And see that, and there's a reason for that, because when you are in your mind, when you close your eyes, you got to be in your mind. When you were in your mind, you was able to connect with your spiritual power, because I was able to take you to the future. I was able to take you yesterday. I was able to put something in your head, all of that. But you did it. I just said it and you put it there. You gave yourself that vision. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So your spiritual self operates on the vision side, the internal side. You got to know what's happening internally so you know how to show up out here physically.
Right. Hey, so look, let's check in. Let's see with the Raw Queen. Did you get your stuff together? You got the sound right?
I think you're on mute, beautiful.
Is she on mute?
Yeah, I see her talking, but
Okay. Can you hear me
yeah,
now?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, I got this sound together.
Okay, good. We got the sound together. So okay, Chris, what's going on, Chris? I appreciate that check in. Yolanda, hey, she
Yes.
checking in. So um, so we went around, but we were definitely trying to get your perspective on pain
Mm-hmm.
and see what the Royal Queen, like how you summed up pain as the Royal Queen.
Well, I was actually agreeing with what Danielle said, like it comes within. And I feel like if people don't properly heal, you're always going to deal with pain.
So
Mm-hmm.
you dealt with
It's
are you
like
hurting
last
today? Or are you hurting today? Have you had pain that you dealt with? Or are you healed? Or are you in the healing process or anything? Like what's your truest what's your truest walk as of today?
today, I woke up very happy and blessed, but I am going through a healing process in my life. Um, I feel like every day is a healing process. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we all have experienced pain one way or another. So yeah,
Absolutely. Let me
I'm on
ask
a
you.
I'm go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question. As a person, do you believe that you could show up in the world and them not feel that pain only because it's happening to you in your personal world? Do you feel like when you go to your profession, it don't show up?
Yeah, because I feel like we can hide pain really well. I feel like some of us can hide pain really well.
What will
Um,
cause it to come out?
Somebody could trigger you. You can
A
have
trigger.
you can have a messed up day. You know, somebody could say something crazy to you, and
Yes.
you just snap. You know.
So the pain is still in there. And if you
Hmm.
don't heal that, it doesn't matter if you're in a profession, if you're at the amusement park, if you're at the grocery store, if it gets triggered, it's coming out.
It's coming out, yeah. And I feel like a lot of strong people um hide pain really, really well. I feel like we can deal with something and we can go out in the world and smile and we can comfort everybody else. And a lot of times people have no idea that you're dealing with your own pain and you're dealing with your own trauma. And I was talking about it last night. I feel like a lot of people are dealing with childhood trauma and they're taking that over into their next relationship because they
Absolutely.
haven't healed from what they went through in their past relationship.
That is absolutely, I totally agree with that. And people think, well, I'm grown now. What happened to me in childhood don't matter. No, it does matter.
It
It
does.
absolutely does. You have got to go back and heal that.
Got to go
Like
back and deal with it.
Yolanda just said, we're always going to be in a healing process because we're living. People are
Mhm.
always going, you're going to have these experiences, and they're going to trespass against who you are. And sometimes people may mean it, and sometimes they may not,
Yeah.
right? But either way, that doesn't mean it hurt any less. You're going to deal with it. It's
Yeah.
coming for you. No, it's coming for you. It's how you deal with it. And what one thing about strong people tend to mask it really well,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Knowing how to deal with it is what it is. We keep saying deal. If you don't deal with it, you're going to feel it.
Yeah. I agree
Yeah.
with that. And I feel like some people, it's like you said, people deal with it. Some people deal with it. Some people don't deal with it, and some people just don't know how to deal with it. So you have
Yes.
people that's just walking around angry all day, every day, like they're waiting on somebody to piss them off so they can
Hmm.
take that anger out on you or somebody else. So yeah, I feel like people need to heal,
Yeah. So
and a
so
lot of
have
it.
y'all ever met somebody that no matter how good things are going, they just always find a way for it not to be a good day?
Um, yeah, they call those Debbie Downers and negative Nancy's, and I don't know what they say for the guys, but I really want to bring this out. What we talking about here is what we've experienced. What the skill comes from is through a study of the science. All those S's go together. The skill comes from the study of the science. So when I say the science, why does a person walk around just totally negative? Just always got everything out their mouth, got something negative to it, or they can't see something happening, or they don't think it's going to work. And why does that happen to us as people? Why does that happen? You know?
I don't know, but I really personally, I can't stand that. Like, I don't even like to be around anyone
Mm,
that wakes up negative, like, oh God, what's gonna happen today? I feel like you setting yourself up for something to happen today. I
Yeah.
just don't like that energy.
yeah,
I'm not connected to anybody with that type of energy. I don't like that because I feel like if I'm going through something or one of my friends is going through something, the first thing I say is, "Don't God always work it out?" Because He does. But
yeah.
if you wake up like, "Oh, nothing ever good happens for me," or "Why am I always going through this?" or "Lord, why this?" or "Why this?" I don't want to be around that.
Absolutely. And what happens is those people are not as mentally strong as yourself.
Yeah.
So those people are dealing with the human factor. The human factor is our brains are literally designed to think negatively
Hmm.
because we are creatures of survival. So we don't never want to be hurt or not make it, not be successful, right?
Yeah.
So we're always thinking of what you say the person, "Ah, I don't want to be bothered today." Why? Because you don't think you're going to be successful in today.
Right.
Whatever's going on, you don't have an answer for how you're going to move forward in today.
Right.
So you're negatively thinking and your body has got you on the downward. We have got to train our brain. Like this thing is a muscle. Just like men
Hmm.
like to go to the gym and work out their muscles in their arm, we got to work out this one. I'm always telling my sons, you got to grow your brain.
Yeah.
You got to grow it by what you're putting in it. And what you put in it will allow you to manage who you are better,
Right.
right?
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. If you wake up thinking positive, you're going to have a positive day. If you
Yes.
wake up thinking negative, it's going to be a negative day for you.
And so Yolanda just jumped out. She said, we call them drifters. We absolutely do. You're allowing your brain to drift and take it wherever you want it to go, and
Mhm.
allowing life to just happen to you. You better get in that driver's seat. You better grab that wheel and go where you're deciding to go, not
Take
where you being
control.
driven and floating to go.
Mhm. Take
Right?
control.
And that's where people have people pain, and because of that people pain, they don't let it go. And
Yeah.
when they don't let it go, it shows up. You look good, hair look good, face look good, you got your your degrees, your knowledge is up, right? But your people is towed down, your personhood is broke, your
Mhm.
spirit don't look like nothing, but you showing up in the public like you a shiny resume.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
And some people just walking around angry
Yeah. And some people
all
just
day,
can't
every
let
day.
go. So some people just can't let go
Yeah.
of, you know, they are past. And she said Debbie Downers, uh, uh, I like to call it "Don't Do It" Downers, but like I just want to get back to the
You got a
point
lot of
of
comments coming up and good stuff over
yeah,
there.
they coming with it,
Because this is a serious topic. This is something that doesn't matter if you black, you white, you fat, you skinny, you're ugly, you're pretty. It don't matter what you are. We all have these emotions, and a lot of people like I don't deal with my emotion. They're gonna deal with you.
Yeah.
You better
And
get
that,
ahead of it.
I think
yeah,
that's sad because I used to be like that. I used to never deal with my emotions. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with that, But then it builds up and then it builds up. And then one day you just explode. And you may take that out on somebody that doesn't deserve that. I've learned how to deal with the situation at hand. And it's just certain things I'm just not dealing with. It's just certain things I don't feel my spirit with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a bunch of negative things. Like I'm not. Mm-mm. I'm not with that. But that was something I really had to work on was dealing with it.
So you had to consciously and deliberately say, "I am gonna deal with that,"
Yes,
even when you
yes,
didn't want to.
yeah. Because I feel like our generation, we got a lot of tough love, and we had to deal with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Magic made. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You feel
I
like.
feel like we paying for that today. For the things that we had to deal with in our childhood. And that childhood trauma is something that is just not talked about at all. That childhood trauma, it causes problems in marriages, business relationships, being a true friend, all kind of stuff. There are people out here that are really life messed up about childhood trauma. Whether they
Absolutely.
got daddy issues, mommy issues.
Let me
People are
let
really
me
messed up.
let me give you the top 10 of childhood trauma. You
Mhm.
ready? The top 10 of childhood trauma. If you've lived through, and this is if you've had these experiences between ages of 0 and 17. If you had violence in your community or school, right? If you were physically or emotionally abused,
Mhm.
if you were sexually abused, if your parents had mental illness or suffered from mental illness and you grew up in that environment, if you were physically or emotionally neglected, if you were exposed to substance abuse at a young age between the ages of 0 and 17, exposed to it yourself or with people around you, if you had to live through a situation of separated or divorced parents, if you had to deal with bullying or colorism in your life, if you witnessed domestic violence in your life, if you had to deal with an incarcerated household member, or if you had a loss of a parent or a sibling due to death, those are the top 10, according to the CDC. Those are the top 10 adverse experiences a human could go through between the ages of 0 and 17. And Yolanda makes mention over here. She says, also, if you're always around negativity, it might be the surroundings that you're around, right? So, all of those were negative surroundings, yes? All of those were environmental negative surroundings. So, when you come out into that between 0 and 17, this is when your brain is developing. Your brain is developing during these ages and years. So you're learning, oh, I got to protect myself. People are people. So when you go grow up, you're going to protect yourself from the boss. You're going to protect yourself from your colleagues. You're going to protect yourself from. So you're in protection mode. You're living in survival mode, not a healthy mindset mode. You living in trauma mode. So that's why it's easy to find those other folks that are dealing with trauma and bond to them because we got a likeness, right? That's not healthy, but that's what happens. So that's why you walk around with these triggers because you never know when somebody gonna act up on you or make you feel a way, and you gotta respond. So your brain is already ready for the response. So you gotta rewire your thinking. You gotta train your brain. You gotta stop the stinking thinking. You gotta bring yourself back to center. And again, when you come to center, you get to know who you are. You get to know how you were made up. Despite the things that happen to you, what are you here to do? And how are we gonna get to that?
How do people go back and actually deal with it? Because I we can say all day heal, heal, heal,
Uh-huh.
but I think some people don't know how to heal. Some people don't know where to start dealing with that childhood trauma. Like I went on a fast 2 years ago, right? I actually called five of my strongest friends, right? And I asked them to go on a fast with me, right? In doing that fast, I thought maybe God just wanted to sit me down because I was just moving too much, right? I was doing a lot. And um I had this pepper plant that I was growing, right? And the pepper plant had it died. So I got on YouTube and I was trying to figure out how to save this pepper plant, right? And it said that I had to pull it from the root, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time it didn't click, it didn't dawn on me what that meant, right? So what I learned in the fast was what I'm dealing with in my life, I got to go to the root of the problem. That's what God was telling me in the fast. I
Say that
went,
one more time for the people to hear
listen,
it out loud. What was the message you received?
I had to go to the root of the problem.
The root. The root. The root is the whole beginning, the start. You have to be connected to the root to
Yeah,
get it all the way out.
yeah.
That I just posted a website. Anybody that has dealt with any of those 10 things I just stated has experienced that in childhood, check that website out.
Yeah, but you had posted it in the private chat. You're gonna have to
Oh,
post it in the
yeah, I posted over here. I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I don't do these technology things. You gotta help me out.
hey, you gotta post it. But I had took the link and posted it in the
Thank you
other
very
chat.
much.
And you know,
Numberstory.org is a way because even a gentleman said, how do you get back to center? First, you need to know what happened to you.
mhm.
We be so quick to grow up and get away from the things that hurt that we don't want to look back and see what happened. So, and magic, be very clear. I don't mean that we gonna wallow in it. We're not gonna go stay and hang out in the pain. We're not gonna sit there and play around in the pain. I want you to put it in your mind like a car. Like you in your car, you are the vehicle. You in your car, you in the driver's seat. In order for you to get forward, you're gonna have to look in that rear view just for a little bit, see what happened back there. We got to go back there and see what went on so we can make sure we still keep it forward. We can't stay long though, because you're gonna crash going forward. You got to keep it going forward, right? So, in saying that, as we're moving, and my apologies for
Yeah,
I
that
ain't
was
got
the
my
data
glasses on.
teacher. Hey,
I ain't
data
got my
teacher
glasses
right
on. I
there.
can't even see the name, but
The data teacher right there.
my, please forgive
She
me.
causing pain, y'all.
We talk about forgiveness. Please forgive me. I didn't mean that. Um,
That was painful.
so in saying that, you got to go back to the root. You got to go down, back down what happened, right? And then that website that I posted, it allows you to go there safely within yourself, by yourself. You in your house, you on your phone, so you don't have to be shamed, you don't have to feel uncomfortable or any of that. You're with you,
Yeah.
but you're
But a
going to
lot
have
of
to go back.
people, Danielle, a lot of people try to, it's like you said, bury it because they don't want to deal with it. Like me, I thought I was okay. Like I didn't feel like I had to deal with this.
Hmm.
I felt like, please, let me put this in the back of my mind. I don't have to deal with this. It is what it is. And I'm just going to move forward, but not realizing I had to deal with that. And
That's survivor mode.
yeah, I've always heard that, God works in numbers, man. And when I called on those 5 friends to go on that fast, listen, God did some powerful stuff with me and my friends. All of us
Mhm.
had a testimony, but what I went through, it was just shocking. And it was the way God gave me the message with the plant
Yes, yes,
that I had to
we
go to the
are
root of the
plants.
problem.
Do you understand that? You, me, Magic, we are plants.
Hmm.
We are his plant. He
Yeah,
planted us here. He planted us here to have an experience and live out our mission. Okay. And as a plant, we're designed like that. But what we don't do is we don't see the inside. So we don't understand how to handle the inside. If you were to see the inside of you, do you know you look like a plant on the inside?
yeah,
If I cut your lungs open and I fanned them out, they look like trees,
yeah,
right? If I cut your kidney bean open, it look like a kidney, right? The kidney look like a bean, like
yeah,
everything about us. The heart look like a tomato sliced open or a strawberry opened up. Mhm. See,
yeah.
all of we are built like that. So, and I'm to not go too far down that lane. What I'm saying is, we have to understand what's going on the inside of us. So, yes, God did some amazing things when you and your powerful folks came together, and y'all stirred up an energy that got y'all in a position to move forward. But that
Hmm.
didn't take away the stuff that's back there that might creep up sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
So listen,
yes,
so I'm finna
be
hit y'all with
powerful to
some.
move forward, but don't forget the work we got to do back there.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
so I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit because that's what I do. I'm gonna stir it a little bit.
Stir it
So
up.
I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit. Because we talking about pain, we talking about pleasure, we talking about all these different things. So the characteristics they say people who went through a lot pain, they got pain. People who live with this pain dress better than people or feel they need to dress better than people who have actual joy and pleasure in their life. People, you know what I'm saying? So do you think people overcompensate with, like you say, with dressing and making sure they look good and making sure versus people who are truly got joy and and happiness in their life? They don't put as much into trying to look a certain way.
Absolutely. Not so much as they don't put so much into looking a certain way, but the people that are hurt, they don't want you to see that.
They
I don't
hiding.
want you to see how I'm feeling. I don't want you to be able to tell that I feel dirty on the inside, but my clothes are super clean and name brand on the outside. So that way it keeps you at bay. So
So you think it's true?
I
yeah, I
do.
do think it is because remember what I said about seeing. We haven't been taught how to use our vision and go internally into our spiritual self. So because of that, we try to put on for the world that we are okay. And we want to see that of ourselves too. We want to look good, feel good. See, that value is on my body, but it's not in my body.
I
So the
agree
people
with
who
that.
go, so would you
The
contribute
math. Yes.
pain as one of the contributing factors to why people going into debt,
Yes. See, pain
buying
comes
cars
in
they can't
five
afford?
different areas. Let me tell you how pain works in a human. For human fulfillment, to be totally fulfilled as a human being, you have to make sure that out of these 5 cups are getting filled up. Your physical, your mental, your emotional, your financial, and your spiritual. To be good here on this earth, you better make sure that physical body is straight, that you are physically well and healthy, and that's being fed right. Your mental, has to be fed right. Everything can't go in these ears and these eyes. You got
Oh,
to
come on,
protect
Danielle.
these
Come
gates.
on. Come
Okay.
on.
You're emotional. You got to make sure that toxicity is not there, that you know how to have a healthy relationship with yourself so you don't connect to others that are unhealthy, right? Then you got to have that financial. We need financial flexibility to be able to do what we need to do on this earth. We create business not because we want to occupy our time, but because we want to be comfortable here and make sure our families are well. So that financial has to be healthy. And that's spiritual. The spiritual is how you started before you came in that body that you got right now. That energy of love between your mama and daddy that landed in your mama's womb, yeah, that's the spirit energy you are. You just got this body so that you can move on this earth. You
Yeah.
feel me? So
I
when
want
we
to
get,
say something.
mhm,
Um, I want to say something too. About pain and the childhood trauma. I feel like if we um don't heal and break those generational curses, it is gonna go over to our children. So
mhm.
if our parents was on drugs or abusing us or whatever, if we don't heal, we're gonna think that we're supposed to treat our kids like this, or we supposed to.
Absolutely. Modeling is how we learn. You learned to walk because you were modeling,
Mhm,
right? You were modeling other folks moving around on their legs in front of you.
right,
So even though your parents may not have they did not get on drugs to hurt you, but because they were on drugs, they ended up modeling behavior that you can't help but pick up
mhm.
because you was in the environment.
But then, yeah, I want to say this too, because let's say 50-50, right? I know people who parents were on drugs and they are very successful
Who?
today, right?
Who? The people or the parents?
The people.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I know people who parents were on drugs when they were younger and they're successful people today, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then I know people who parents were on drugs and they
They're
messed
not.
up,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're messed up people. So, um, I guess it depends on the individual.
So let's be clear. It depends on your definition of success. You might be successful in business.
Mhm,
You might be successful in education, but you might not have so much success in your personal relationships because you never learned uh, relationship management because your parents was on drugs.
right.
So it depends on what you call success. People think I've succeeded because I'm a CEO.
Mhm,
I succeeded because I got this and I got that. What do you have within the
right.
internal stuff that you need to push yourself forward? While you got all those things on the outside, are you crying at home by yourself on the inside
Right.
at night when nobody else can see them things? Right? Are
Right.
you still having problems having a healthy relationship with someone you love? Right?
When
So
you
what
look
is
in the
the
mirror, are
success we
you
talking
happy
about?
with yourself?
Absolutely. What success we talking about here?
Yeah.
You feel me? So bringing it back to the person, coming back to centering yourself,
So,
and
what would you consider an all-around successful person? Let's define like by your standards. Because there's so many facets of success the way you explain it. So, what would you consider to be a successful person? Like you say,
so
you give me that picture.
I heard this term before, and I've not been able to let it go because it sat so deep with being true in me. Success. If you were to look at what is the definition of success, for me and the one that I adopted was to first, it's a three-part process. To be successful takes three parts. One, to discover who you are and why you're here. Discover that. Then you need to develop a plan on how to develop those things, the skills and the things to live out your purpose. What are you going to need? Who are you and why are you here? What are you going to need to live out that purpose for why you're here? And then designing your life to meet and live and walk in your purpose.
Mhm.
If you are here doing a job just because it makes you money, then that may not necessarily be your purpose. You doing what you could do because that's what you could do, not because that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
So a lot of people live this life and die not really realizing what their purpose. Why are you here? What you supposed to be doing? Why are you built in that body? Why do you have the talents you have? Why did you have the experiences you had to shape you? Good and bad, painful and pleasurable.
That's
So
good.
discover that. Then develop the skills it takes to live out that purpose. And then design your life to make it happen. That's
Yeah.
success to me.
I feel like a lot of people don't really figure out what their purpose is until they hit their 40s. A lot
Why
of
is
times.
that? Why is that, ma'am? I agree with you. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think when you hit your 40s, you just start looking at life different.
Mm,
It's like for me, I just worked, take care of my family, but I really didn't have that time to focus on me.
mm-hmm,
So when I hit my 40s, I got this attitude like, F it. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
It's about me now.
Yes.
I'm in my
Because at that
40s.
point, you was like, listen, bump everybody, everything, let
Yes,
me get sent to self. But you know when you also had that time, but you didn't know you had that time and you didn't know what to do with that time? You know when you also had that time?
in your
When you were
20s.
4,
Oh,
not 40. You didn't have to worry about nobody. You didn't have no children. You didn't
hmm,
have no responsibilities, right? But nobody taught you how to identify your purpose
yeah,
because nobody taught them how to identify theirs.
yeah,
We are not that far removed from slavery. You understand? So we were inundated with purpose for the society, not purpose that God sent you here for. You were taught how to have a purpose to make labor and make things happen. You weren't taught the purpose of why you were designed uniquely the way you were and the special gifts that God gave you to move here.
yeah,
You understand? So as we bump ourselves along from 4 to 40, life happens,
yeah.
children happen, experiences happen. So it gets us that much further away from ourselves. And it's not until about 40 that we slow down and realize, oh, we almost halfway through life here.
Oh, yeah,
So my point to that is you don't have to wait till 40. And we need to, as adults, be able to teach our children about purpose and how to identify that early. And that's a skill that's teachable.
Danielle, that's a whole nother topic right there. That's good,
Yeah, we do
but
that over at Help
Okay.
and Heal the Hurt.
but
We
listen,
do that.
we live in a world today that people, it's different, from when we was coming up,
Yeah,
and then you got social media, you got a lot of stuff going on,
all
you
these
know.
influences coming in, coming in, coming in.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So I like to work with youth because youth are untainted. They don't have as much baggage as we do.
Hmm.
They haven't lived long enough. Hopefully, they haven't had it hard enough, but some have, right? But they still are able to be malleable. They're able to be taught. They're able to be given. They're able to be poured into. They're not as resistant from it as an adult at 40, right? So when a child has been hurt in their childhood, we can catch it closer to the root than before they get grown and older,
Yeah.
right? So, but purpose don't stop. You identifying your purpose, it doesn't end. We don't, we just got caught up in being conditioned to what the society gave us. Pull out. I need you to get in a helicopter, take a helicopter all the way up and look down on your life and
Yeah.
say, okay, this is what happened to me back here, but this is where I want to be. And how do I line that up?
Yeah.
I
And
can't undo them things that happen.
I think sometimes too, as adults, we have to be very, very careful of the decisions that we make in life, because a lot of decisions we make can cause our children to have childhood trauma. And we may not realize that.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you don't
we're gonna give you. Listen, if you're alive, I think you're gonna give your child some trauma. Like that's like going back to my point. Like we were born into this. We were born like even in the Bible, you're born into sin. So you were born into dealing with. You were born with whatever the mother was going through, whatever the father feeling, whatever the father was putting on the mom. And when you came through the birth canal, Like so yeah, you're gonna, and I think that's forgiveness of self and understanding that you're not perfect, and we're not in a perfect place, and just understanding that that doing the best you can is good enough. And the fact that your child, you can't protect your child from everything. You can't protect your child from trauma. You can't protect your child from things that's gonna shape, mold, or and affect them the rest of your life. Now you do your best to put them in the best situation that you can, to where they have more good experiences than bad. But but like, look,
You
you're gonna have
can
some
keep
bad days as a mother. You're gonna have some bad days as a father. You're not gonna make. You know what I'm saying, you're gonna handle, like you said, you got the pressures of life dealing with you. It's gonna be times where your child come to simply ask you a question and you snap. Should you do it? Is it? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, are you gonna ignore them? Or are you gonna, what I'm saying? And they're gonna carry that with them the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? You not knowing that, in that moment, but but it happens.
We could
So
So,
prevent
this is not a
though.
beat up session on parents. We are human, so yes, things are gonna happen, and people, you going to trespass on somebody, and our children, we often do it. That happens. It's about not just settling with that. That well, it's going to happen. Our children are going to deal with trauma. They're going to deal with adversities. We have to be conscious not to put them on them because
And
of our
add
own
on,
stuff.
right, add on to
Right. We
that.
don't want to
That
add our own stuff onto what they're already going to experience. They're going to experience their own, but you
right,
deal with yours. See, like you said, we're born into that, right? We're born into it, don't mean we have to stay in it.
we're born in the pain.
You were born
right,
into
but
your parents' story. Did you repeat their story, or you live in a different life other than
right.
how your
I
parents
don't
lived?
know. That's the whole thing. We
But
we we repeat history.
it's like this, Magic. If a mom has a boyfriend, right? And the boyfriend is molesting the daughter. And the daughter goes to the mom and says that, your boyfriend is molesting me. And the mom doesn't believe her. That's adding on to the trauma that she's already dealing with. But the mom could have prevented adding on to that trauma by getting rid of him. But
So
she
let me
Well,
ask you
chose,
a
listen,
question. Why did the mama not believe her? Why you think that was the mama's position?
because cause these kids, they lie. Like, I
Oh,
know
you think
more
that's why?
cases. I know more cases of where, when a person came in and a household or a family, and because that the kid, whether, and especially the daughter, not getting the attention or can't run the mama like she used to, she started making up these false accusations of this man, saying that he's this way, he's that way, this
that
way,
happens.
What does
and
that have to do with her not believing her? If her
because
daughter came
she's a
to her,
consistent liar. I'm just saying,
that does not
sometimes
mean because she has told and lied.
consistent.
Go
But
get
the
it out.
mama still
Because
needs
she
to
has
get rid of the
consistently
boyfriend.
lied, we need to look at that.
So
What
if
happened to
mama
this
need to get rid of
child
the
that this
boyfriend
child
if the
came?
daughter lie on him.
I'm sorry, say
Yeah,
again.
because yeah, if the daughter tells the mom that your boyfriend is touching me, your boyfriend is raping me, even if it's not true or not, as a mother, you need to get rid of him
Well, let me
because
let me say I agree to I
what, Magic?
let me say there's a middle ground in there for me. Magic. If a child is lying, you don't look at the issue of the lying. You look at the root cause. Let's go back to the root. Why is this child feeling the need to tell untruths to protect themselves or to get what it is they want? That's one thing. That's the lie situation. But the fact of the matter that was brought to the table is that, mom, your boyfriend, husband is touching me. At that point in time, I don't care what lie they've ever told before. I need to find out that right there. I need to remove the threat. I need to believe it right off the rip until I could prove it different. So I don't, and if you can't, as the man, understand that, then you just can't understand that. I'm gonna have to see you later.
Oh yeah,
But
it's a
as of right now,
it's
if my daughter
it's a
came to me and told me that my significant other was touching them, until I prove it not, I have to handle it like it's real and it's true. And I'm going to protect that child until I get better to understand what has
Mhm.
happened. Because I'm here to protect that child, not to have protect that relationship. When I go home to God, I can't say, and he asked me, what did you do with what I sent you to do and what you were responsible for? I'm responsible for my child more than I am that relationship because I can build another one.
And that's the problem with a lot of relationships. So we're gonna have to put a pin in this and come back and address this, because this is gonna be another hour and a half if we go
Yes,
into
because you
that one.
already know you got nothing but women on here. You touching
No,
this other way.
it's cool, and I like women to be able to express themselves, and I like the situation like this because I like to be able to speak on from like from an educated standpoint and from just a male blunt way, like what I'm saying, like I'm somebody. See, at the end of the day, I'm somebody's child too. I got a mama too, so when somebody else child lying on this child. It's this, you know what I'm saying? So, so my mama not gonna take kind to that because my mama got obligation to protect her child too, right? So let's go. So and you got sons. But both of y'all got sons. And you know what I'm saying? And what did you raise? So now, but we have, like I said, we need to put a pin in this one. And we need to, and we need to come back to people pain part 2 and
Yeah.
and pick up on um, uh,
Yeah, because
security. Let's
that's
call
gonna
it
be good right
security.
there.
Yeah,
That's
this,
gonna be good right there, Magic. Because I feel like this: if you dating a woman, if them kids bad as hell, you might need to get out of there before that situation even happens.
you right.
You should
Yes.
be able to read those kids. Like, you know what? She got some badass kids. I
Yeah,
got to get out of here before I get myself in a situation.
Yes.
right.
And not leaving yourself vulnerable for those types of situations.
Exactly.
But we'll come back. Like you said, we're going to put it because this is a fiery topic right here. And
Yeah.
people pain runs deep. So,
Right. Yeah. People. It's every river run deep, man. So look, I appreciate it. And today, like we got off and we did what we did. We weren't even expecting all this today. We were just doing our first little test run of the year, man. And you see, we gonna be smoking. So look, tell your people start getting themselves together, start watching. We gonna come up with a consistent day that we gonna do this on, and we gonna battle. We gonna go in because I can't wait to
No,
crush
Magic
some of
love to
these
debate. I love debating
ideologies.
with Magic.
oh,
Yeah,
you too? I
Yeah, I
sharpen my
love
sword
debating with
over there.
Magic.
yeah, I can't wait to crush some of these ideologies that that's gonna come to the table. But I appreciate y'all, love
Yes.
y'all, and until next time.
It was a pleasure, ladies. And Magic. It was a pleasure.
All right,
Thanks for having us.
let's go. Yeah, you seeing here? Hey, I'm drinking on my French Connection right here. Who made this beat, man?